I have a question for you specifically, because obviously this doesn't apply to you, but did you, like, as a kid, have a sense of, like, oh, I kind of like this whole, like, Japanese culture thing whenever it propped up, you know, in, like, TV or anything? Like,
I mean, to me, it was less exotic, because to me, it was like Asian culture.
I guess,
like,
yeah.
Because it was, I had seen more of it because I didn't exactly grow up in Thailand, but I would visit there at least once a year.
Right.
So I'd spend like my summer holidays in Thailand every year. So seeing some of the more Japanese culture or the more Asian oriented culture, it's not that different from what you get from flying to Asia. Like Japanese specific, like say onigiri. I had no idea what the fuck onigiri is. Jelly donuts. But I could see that, it was just a ball of rice. Yeah. I know what rice is. I can see what this is.
I guess it's a difference of me coming from, you know, the whitest place on earth and not being exposed to any other, especially Asian cultures, you know.
Yeah.
The only Asian exposure I had, you know, apart from media, was just like the shitty Chinese shop that, you know, down the road, which like we had awful Chinese. And so I think whenever I saw Japanese stuff in media, I thought it was so cool. Like this is going to sound so fucking dumb that I'm going to say this, right?
Go on.
Do you remember like Jackass the movie or whatever, where like one of them goes to Japan?
Oh yeah.
And he starts like just stripping in a store and dancing. The whole time I just ignored that. I was like, dude, look at those fucking appliances they had. I thought it was so cool. They had all these appliances in the store that like I've never seen them, like, because in the West we never got those like TV and radio built in things, and like they had like the numbers on the side. I thought those were cool as fuck as a kid. And then obviously watching like samurai stuff, and then Samurai Jack was a huge thing that made me think like I fucking love samurais as a kid. Like, they were like the coolest things to me.
I think it was either like depending on if you were into anime or not. Like the two things that got people into samurai were either Samurai Jack or The Last Samurai.
I can still watch Samurai Jack today and like fucking love everything.
Dude, the newest season was fucking awesome.
Oh my god, dude, Samurai Jack cried like a baby.
Samurai Jack is just a fucking great show.
Amazing,
period.
yeah.
You know
Samurai Jack was like the one Cartoon Network show other than Ed, Edd n Eddy that my dad would be just as excited to watch with me.
So good.
He was like, dude, Samurai Jack's on? Move out of the way.
Like, I remember like the episode with like the assassin. Do you remember this one with he had the robot dog? And I love that episode. That's one of my favorites. But I think in my head, looking back now, I feel like it was inevitable that I was going to get into anime because I had like a fondness for Japanese culture. Like it wasn't like intense or weeby or anything. I liked the movies. I liked like all the culture that I saw. I loved video games. And being a video game fan, you're going to run into like stuff that you're like, why is it like this? And you're like, oh, it's Japanese.
Yeah.
And then also watching anime from a young age and like, so I felt like it was inevitable at some point in my life, I was going to find anime and be like, I fucking love this shit.
Because I feel I completely forgot about video games and just like JRPGs in general.
It's a big push. You don't realize how much of it like a push.
Exactly, and I realized a lot of the same story tropes that drew me to anime, like I liked in JRPGs, and that's why I got really into JRPGs as well. I guess, do you remember the time when Japan just felt like this foreign concept?
Like
this is way past even when me discovering anime. But I remember like after discovering anime and start discovering Naruto and everything, you know, it was so weird to find anyone who went to Japan or see any kind of like Japanese media, even outside of Japan.
I feel like it's only recently become a tourist destination. Like you know, like if my parents who like never want to leave Europe, right? Like they're like, if it's not Europe, it's not a vacation. If they're considering like, oh, Korea and Japan sounds cool. Like if they're doing like that, I'm like, okay, well now I guess everyone's up to it now.
Are they thinking that?
Yeah, they were planning that, not just because I lived here, but they wanted to come out anyway.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, I feel like there's that kind of mainstreamness of it anyway is really like had a big impact recently. Because I remember when I first started watching stuff on YouTube, there was no like vloggers. Except for like, I remember watching like a Chris Broad video from like years ago.
Yeah.
And he was like the only guy, right?
He was one of the OGs.
Right.
I'd like to think,
And I remember back then, like if you wanted to find something in Japanese, it had to be like a BBC documentary of someone going there, right? Like it was not a YouTube
The
thing.
weird, wacky world of Japan.
Whereas now, like, you can find out anything you want about this country. Like it's not hard. But I remember, like same thing.
Like
I have no fucking clue.
You'd see these weird commercials. You'd see like these clips from these talk shows or the variety shows, and you're like, "What the fuck is going on in this country?"